Hey League, I appreciate that sometimes the ramble on the chat can get a little bit long, so I figured this was a nice way to get a couple key messages out about the offseason, some dates, some expectations, etc. I'll keep it super short. At least I'll do my best. Here we go. 3 sections total. The first one should be the easiest and quickest. This is just to save the dates. Now, when I put up on the chat a bunch of different options, this is the only one. Thursday, August 27th was the one that got 6 votes, but not everybody voted in general. I know there was about 7 or maybe 8 if I missed it, people. So there's a few people who didn't put their vote forward. If anyone cannot make this date, please let me know as soon as possible. Some of us have a ton of leagues and we like to try and fit them in. Hence why I didn't choose a Saturday or Sunday for these ones, because I know a lot of us are in leagues that involve multiple time zones. In terms of the 7 a.m., that's because this is already set to Eastern Standard Time in North America. I think by this time, actually, now I'm just thinking about it in my head. It'll still be 11 hours, not 12. So this might be 6 at night. The point was for it to be 7 at night. That part we can negotiate when we get closer to it. I don't expect everyone to know exactly what you're doing on that Thursday. Most of us will be working by then, so there might be some wiggle room in terms of timing. My original idea was to set it at 7 at night Bangkok time, but that's adjustable, obviously. The date can still be adjustable, but please speak up as soon as you possibly know. It would be awesome if we could go 10 for 10. Not sure if that's possible. No one said they can't make this yet, so that's what we're rolling with. The reason why that might be a little important ahead of time, just looking at our calendar, if that's the 27th, I've currently set the roster or the keeper deadline to be a week before, and we want it a week before so I can confirm the rosters and people can start doing their research. So if that date does not look good, please let me know as soon as you can. When it comes to mid-season roster changes, there's a couple things I wanted to highlight here. Now, number one, I think it was Jim that pointed out that he couldn't find the rosters. I think that might be on the phone app because, I mean, and again, I'm commissioner, so I do have a few things that I can do that not everyone can, but it shouldn't be this. I think if you go onto like an actual, like a laptop, CPU unit, anything, and you go to your teams, your rosters should come up, okay? So this is where you can scroll through and start looking at trades, including or just trade etiquette. It is already being discussed. I think most people are throwing out some flyers. It's okay to trade as many things as you want to trade until the keeper deadline. That is the deadline for preseason trades. How we're going to do the preseason trades on the chat group, once you've made that agreement, please make sure that both people are aware of the trade itself. You don't do it on Yahoo. You're going to announce it on the chat group. And what I'd love to do, let's say it's me and first person come up, pretty good team, our defending champion, Paul. Let's say Paul and I make a deal. If I announce it just for the sake of a commissioner, you'd be doing this solid if Paul just did a check mark or something as like, you know, just underneath some kind of an image to suggest, yes, that's the deal I thought I was making too, then I will write it down. When I go to make roster moves, the roster move will not be shown until the keeper deadline. And that's just something I have to do logistically. Yahoo won't let us make a trade. If anyone knows differently, please let me know. I've asked a bunch of people that have done a lot of these leagues before. I have to set keepers. I can make trades when I set keepers, and they can include draft picks. But similar to what happened during the league, the draft picks have to be equal. It has to be a 1-for-1 situation, okay? So if there's a trade, when there's a trade, I'm going to say there's going to be a couple, let me know. You will be allowed to declare that person as a keeper. You'll just have to tell me, like send me a separate message, not just online, that this person's my keeper, and I will adjust the rosters accordingly. This is why I'm setting the keeper deadline a week before, so that I can set all the rosters, update them. Then you should be able to go in and actually see who is being kept. And that might be something that you want to do when you start doing draft prep, especially with the people around you. Personally, I'm drafting third. I want to know number 1 and number 2. I want to know how many running backs they have they're keeping, how many quarterbacks, because that might swing my expectations. When it comes to actually making your picks, you go to my team and you'll notice the drop-down menu here. You go to keepers. You can do this as of now. Of course, I can't do it now. I'm not a manager of that team. I go to my team first. Then I go from my team to keepers. So if you bump into that issue, there you go. It's got my people up here. Remember, you're keeping 5. Yes, Will, 5 players. It does not matter position. There's no requirements that way. It does not matter draft pick. If I wanted to click, all I do is hit that. I go down to the bottom, set keepers. If I don't like that and I want to come back and do it again, I can do it again. If you have an issue with this, you just have to let me know. On that Thursday, so I'm going to wake up that Friday morning, I'm going to assume everyone's done it. I'm going to go in and start making the roster moves, figure everything out, and go from there. Now, let's say I do make that trade. Let's say one of my people that I'm keeping, or even two, are on another roster. I'm going to just pick, let's say I have two, so I'm going to go boom, 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 click my 3, and then I'm going to send me the 2 players. And I should probably be able to figure that out with the trades, but I don't know. Maybe you're going to trade some people in order to try and trade them. Okay, but once we start figuring out, that's why keeping the roster updates on the chat group is going to be really important, so everyone knows how we're working things out. Okay, if you're curious about where you're drafting or how you're trading, you can go on to Draft Picks. Okay, now here it breaks down who has how many in which rounds, but also if you go down, it's going to show you exactly. Okay, so I know I have mine and the Van Buren boys in round 1, whereas Perdiger team, he doesn't have one, Van Buren as well. Okay, so we can kind of take a look and you can see whose you have in each round, which now that we know the draft order, that should help out as well. So you should know roughly how to prepare for what you're doing. Just let's say hypothetically you forgot which rounds you traded and which rounds you didn't. This can help you out. If there's anything else you need to encourage off-season roster moves or management, just let me know. Last but not least, in terms of some league etiquette. Now, I know we all know our pockets. If you're an IST or a NIST, or if you're a free agent, you might know some of the people in your bubble or may not. It would be great in August if we could find a time for as many of us as possible to get together, chat a little bit, especially in the preseason. Or if not, I know Jim had mentioned he might be in Bangkok. I don't know if he's super busy then. If we try and meet up around when he's in town, whatever it works out to be in August, I'd love to try and find at least one time to get together, and that might actually help on some of the communication pieces. But just in general for league etiquette, one thing I noticed last year is it was a little bit difficult for everyone to constantly keep up to date. And sometimes as a commissioner, you feel that responsibility to reach out. So this year, if you're not maybe putting in your roster updates and there's a week or two, I might get in touch with you just to make sure, because it does actually shift things around the league. But the other piece is just, this is a league where a lot of people want to make a lot of moves. Maybe you don't love making trades, but can we just try in general to set maybe a 24 to 36 hour kind of response time? Now, I'm really bad with this. If you offer me a trade offer, I sit and think about it for a little bit. But what I try and do is at least send you a note and say, hey, got the trade offer. And if I know for sure it's off, I'll just reject it. But if I know there's something there, I'll be like, I'm interested, I'm thinking about it, just to let you know I've been paying attention. A lot of us try and throw a couple darts at a board. It's really tough to figure out if people got it or not. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming WhatsApp, if you go into your WhatsApp, it's got everyone's contact. You can save each person as a contact. Even just put next to it, if you don't know the person, any given Sunday or something like that, or fantasy football, and then you know where that person is. So if you get a message from them, it doesn't seem out of the blue, so you can save that. The other piece here, if WhatsApp is not how you tend to communicate, I know a lot of people seem to, because when I put that out in the chat group, a lot of people, the first post at least this season, a lot of people did reply. Remember, you can go to manager. That's it. That's all. Hopefully that just gave some clarity. I expect the chat to be jumping a little bit. Any questions, make sure you're asking them. The whole point is just to add some clarity so we can start to really get excited. Some of us are already there. If you think that it is way too early in June/July to be thinking about fantasy football, I'm not going to lie to you. You might pick the wrong league. Let's get excited, folks. See you soon.